And welcome to the Nug Life podcast. I am your host, Dan Weststein, here with my co host, Santiago Salazar, here to talk about your Denver Nuggets. I know it's the offseason. Y'all think that there's nothing to talk about. We always have something to talk about. That's why we get paid for this stuff. So, Amado, how has your week been? Well, actually, it's been 2 weeks since we've talked to you. So, how has it been?
It's been good. You like my wardrobe change? I had to
Oh,
get the
real
hat
quick,
on, bro.
slick with it.
Before the show started, I was wearing, not wearing the hat, and my hair was just so crazy. You over here telling me I look like I already got into some whiskey,
I made
so
himself, made him
I
self
had
conscious. My bad.
I had to change it up, bro. I can't be looking like a wino while we do this. But no, man, it's been good though. Last week I had to take off. It was my daughter's birthday, so
No
celebrated
problem.
that. I had to spend the whole day Saturday party planning. I'm my first like party actually like really hosting and barbecuing, so I kind of hit the panic button and just spent the whole day before planning it all out, going to Party City, getting everything we needed. And it's funny because a lot of the stuff we bought we didn't even use. Like we got all these Minnie Mouse cups just laying around the house, bro. We didn't even use them, bro. So, it was good though. Like I said, I
That's
hit the
great.
panic button. I started barbecuing like an hour before people started showing up. So they were eating these not so fresh burgers. So I had to make more fresh burgers,
First
you
burgers, yep.
know. And so it was a success. I'm not gonna lie, but like I
Hey,
said, hit
as
that
long as it
panic
all
button.
turns out good in the end, brother. That's what's up. And
So,
as long as the little one had fun, that's really all that matters. If anybody else got problems, hey, bump them. We don't care. As long as the baby girl had a good day. And happy birthday to the little one, by the way, since I ain't got to say it to her yet. Happy
appreciate it.
birthday. Hope she had a great one. And let's go ahead and jump into these nuggets. We're talking about bags. Your baby got a bag. KCP got his own bag. You got an extension, a 2 year, $30 million extension for 15 million AAV. Should the Nuggets have waited to give him that bag?
You know, uh, I think they should have. No, not like something that's like really a big concern of me of them giving him that money. But at the end of the day, I think the only thing that is the concern is, injuries exist. You don't want to end up paying this man money and he ends up getting a season ending injury. I know you remember a couple years ago with Gordon Hayward when he jumped in with the Boston Celtics on opening night, broke his leg. And that changed the whole entire trajectory of the Boston Celtics season. They were one game away from making it to the finals. Now, is KCP as big of a signing as Gordon Hayward was to the Celtics? No, but at the same time, he will be playing an important role. And to give him that much money that I don't think he has shown, you even said in the rundown, paying him before he's even made one dribble yet, I think it's a little too soon. And I think, he still has more time to prove that. But, the Nuggets did what they did, and hopefully it pays off.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the hope that you have. I mean, this is a known commodity. It's not like they just traded for some kid that's been in the league for a year or two, and you're just hoping he lives up to a $15 million a year deal. He's already making 14 million a year, so you only give him a $1 million a year raise. Would I have liked to see them wait? Yes, not because I don't think KCP is worth 15 million. I do. I would just rather have liked to see how he fit in with the roster, what kind of chemistry he had with Jokic and Murray and MPJ, etc. Like I would have liked to have seen it, kind of similar to what they did with Aaron Gordon. They let him play out the rest of that year. They seen that he was a great fit, and they gave him that big deal. Well,
Mhm.
why wouldn't you at least give it half a season? Maybe you don't want to wait till the end of the season. He gets in his feelings and he doesn't want to sign a deal. But I mean, give it a couple of months into the season. If it turns out he's great, go ahead and slap that deal down. Let him sign it. But to me, just like you, I'm a little anxious because, like you said, injuries do exist, but you can't predict injuries either. You got
Yeah.
to just pray and hope that they don't happen, and then see what happens as they get out on the court. But yeah, just like you said, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more time given, at least a dribble. We can't get one, two dribbles, but hey, they gave it to him. It's inked. It is what it is, and he's here for at least the next 3 years, which is nice. I mean, it gives you kind of some stability and lets you know that they have a plan. And I believe that this is what the plan is that they're going to let him sit for 3 years on the starting lineup, let Christian Brown develop as he has been over the next couple of years with no pressure, a lot like they did Devon Reed, Monte Morris, etc., and then let him take over for KCP as that 3 and D wing 3-4 years down the road. That's my assumption.
Well, a complete upgrade than what you had in Will Barton. Not, I mean, you look, the numbers are pretty similar, but the mentality that KCP has, he knows he's a role player, he knows his job, and what is expected from him, unlike Will Barton, where he's out there thinking he's a star. I mean, we've discussed it for the last past weeks, a guy who doesn't really want to understand his role. He's been here before Jamal Murray, before MPJ, and he just couldn't, I think, at least swallow the pill that these guys are the future, and he was just a role player. And he tried to put himself in the position where he was a star, making bad shot selection. And you move on with KCP because, like I said, he knows his role in this offense. He's not going to do too much. He's a Draymond Green type of player. Not comparing the two, but I say that because they're not going to have the best. The stat sheet's not going to look the best every night. But if you actually watch them, they're actually going to be doing damage that doesn't always show up in the stat sheet. And Will Barton was not that kind of player. And KCP brings the aggressiveness that the Nuggets have been needing these last few seasons.
Yes, exactly. And just like, I know this is Weston. Love you, buddy. Appreciate you tuning in. But yes, this is exactly what we're talking about. We're hoping for a great performance from the Nuggets to make the KCP deal make sense. And appreciate you, Nika. I appreciate this is Jokic. For those of you that are wondering, this is Jokic. This is the man, the big white guy wearing the big white guy's jersey. Yes, that is what's happening. but speaking again of KCP, does this guarantee he is that starter, that he is that wing that will be in that starting five?
I wouldn't guarantee any starting spot at that position, at least because it's not locked in. It's not like at that position you have Jamal there or MPJ, two guys who have really solidified their spot on this roster and their position in the starting lineup. I still think with KCP that we also signed Bruce Brown, a guy who is similar to KCP. So I really think it comes down to how the performances turn out to be. If this is going to, KCP gets off on a hot start, then maybe he can lock in, the first half of those games of the season at that starting position. Or if he has, a couple bad performances, we could see someone else starting there. So it just all depends on how it turns out. I honestly personally think that KCP is more of a bench player. That's why I think he performs better when he comes with the second unit, a six-man type of player, if you will. But, if he does come out hot, why not give him that starting position?
Okay, so since you say he's a bench player, who on this roster do you play over him in the starting lineup?
Oh, man, I would like to see a lineup of Jamal, Bones, MPJ. I don't know who you would put at the four. Who would you put at the four? I don't worry about that later. But at the five, of course, Jokic. Who would you put at the four?
I mean, if I have to take KCP out, I like Zeke Najee's per minute numbers. I would like to see what he does in an expanded role.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would like, I know Uncle Jeff is up there in age, but I would love to see him in that starting role, and he's just so dynamic, and you give him the minutes.
I love the energy he gives off the bench, though, especially at his age. Like, how are you going to be a 22-year-old kid out there not giving energy when the old man out there dunking on the boat? Like,
exactly.
That's what I love about Uncle Jeff is that he makes those young kids like, I can't let the old man out jump me. Like, I love the energy that he gives.
The thing about me with KCP starting, though, is I really want to see a backcourt consist of Jamal Murray and Bones Highland. Because Bones, we saw last year in that playoff series against the Warriors, developing his shot. And the only win that the Nuggets got, he was smoking fire, man. I mean, he had smoke coming from his fingers because he was hot. And that's really his ceiling right there, to hit back-to-back-to-back threes.
Yeah.
Bones Highland can be a problem in this league. He has
a big problem.
Great wingspan for his size, so he can be effective on the defensive end, not just only on the offensive end. And to have Jamal come back, it's going to complement his game in like 1,000 different ways. And so I really want to see that backcourt of those two. That's the only reason why I'm skeptical of KCP. But at the same time, KCP can play the three. Oh my God, his name is pissing me off right now. But it's not like you want to say the whole name, Contavious Caldwell Pope. That's why you have to. That's why you have to abbreviate it. But I would, if anything, I would love to see him at the three before the two, because he can guard at least 4 positions on the court, especially in today's positionless game.
Yes. Yeah, I definitely. I mean, I would love to see a lineup where you have Bones at the one and Jamal at the two, letting Jamal play off the ball, and allowing Bones and Jokic to facilitate to the rest of those scorers. I do love that. My problem is that despite his go-go gadget arms, Bones cannot defend. He just can't
Yeah.
at this point. He has the ability, especially with that wingspan, to guard multiple positions,
Mhm.
but he's just not there yet.
He's a
And
little
that's
light. He's
yeah,
light.
he gets
Um,
bullied a little bit too much in the block, things of that nature. So I need to see a little bit more development from him before I give him that role. That's why I said a Zeke Naji. He's been there, he's done that, he's developed every single year. He's
mhm.
taken that step up. I think he has earned. If anybody else outside of KCP deserves a starting slot, I think Zeke deserves at least a look. Maybe not guarantee him, but at least a look. Give
Mhm.
him starters minutes. See what happens when you expand it, because his per minute production is insane. It's,
Yeah.
it's higher than most starters in the
Well,
league when you go per minute.
the thing about Zeke is he is the epitome of today's big man. He's
Yes.
not really an inside guy. He likes to stretch the floor. He's going to pick and pop. That's the only problem with me. I want a multi-dimensional big man, even at the four. Now I know the four, you
Yeah.
can play a 6'6" guy in today's game at the four.
Yeah.
And Zeke Naji, I believe, is 6'10". So
Yes.
for someone to be that big and not really have much of an inside game, it kind of is a problem with me. I would
He's like
love
a
to see
poor
him.
man's MPJ.
Yeah, poor man's MPJ. I do think he still plays more of like a big man than uh, MPJ does. I mean, MPJ is a unicorn within himself, being that wing, and his NBA comparison was Kevin Durant. So he's more of an outside scorer. Zeke Naji, I think, though, needs to be more of an interior player than he is. He needs to be more aggressive if we want to give him that starting role.
Gotcha. Yeah, most definitely. So here's a real quick question: Do you foresee the Nuggets trading anyone on the current roster?
Hmm.
From
Uh,
from
Now this is gonna be a bombshell right here, but MPJ. I see MPJ. Now this is not something I'm saying that we should trade him, but if anyone is next up in line to get traded, it would be MPJ, and not because we want to move on from him, but he has a lot of value, even though he's had the back surgeries and whatnot. His potential is still through the roof. His ceiling is still through the roof. If you
yes,
can get a lot for MPJ and for a guy who, as I said, his NBA comparison is Kevin Durant, and as much of a diva Kevin Durant is, his scoring ability is unheralded, and
yep.
MPJ is right there with him.
Oh yeah, he's definitely his ceiling is KD
Yeah,
without a doubt. Like that is his ceiling. He could be that good. But the difference is KD stayed on the court a
on the
whole
court.
lot more. Like he's had his injury issues. We've seen that, but again, he's stayed on the court more often than not. So, yeah, with that being the case, do you think, like, since you brought up MPJ, what of these big names out there do you think the Nuggets could
Mhm.
get with a deal centered around MPJ? Do you think they could get like a Donovan Mitchell or Damian Lillard, for
You
example,
know,
of that nature?
I know this guy. He committed to his franchise, and this is a team we just dealt Will Barton to. But I would love us to see, or to see us pursue Bradley Beal, to have a deadly backcourt of Jamal Murray and Bradley Beal. Now that's something that's, you're dreaming if you're thinking you're getting him, because I do believe he's committed to Washington, or Washington's committed to him at least, trying
At
to
least,
lock him in. Um, but that would be a guy I'd want, a real legitimate scorer right next to Jamal, especially when he's coming back rehabbing his injury. Donovan Mitchell, I would love that, especially when we saw that little mini rivalry with Jamal and Donovan in the bubble. That would be fun to see those guys playing side by side, but you'd have to give up a lot that I don't think the Nuggets are able to. You're not just going to have to give up MPJ. You're going to have to give up some picks, and I don't think the Nuggets have the value of those picks to get Donovan. So right now, I don't think trading anyone right now is a realistic scenario. I think Calvin Booth did his job by getting rid of Will Barton. Unfortunately, we had to get rid of Monte Morris. But right now, I think the Nuggets are at where they want to be. They did what they had to do with the trades. They did what they had to do with free agents. Now it's all about getting healthy and having this team make a playoff run.
Yeah, and I think something that hasn't been talked about enough with that Monte Morris and Will Barton trade is a lot of that was trimming fat around the edges.
Mm-hmm.
The Nuggets, for the first time in their franchise history, are a luxury tax team. This is the first time they've ever spent enough money to be taxed for it.
Yeah.
So they were trying to trim the fat around the edges to try and take some of the burden off of the contracts that they've given to Aaron Gordon, MPJ, Jamal Murray, and Jokic here over the last couple of years. So what they did was they traded off Morris and Barton for KCP essentially. Yes, they got Ish Smith in the deal, but he was more of a throw-in to help balance the cap situation from the Wizards. But they did it so that they could have Colin Gillespie come in, and he's going to be the new Monte Morris. He's on a rookie minimum deal. He's already on a two-way contract with the Nuggets, so he's already starting out the exact same way that Monte Morris did. And just like a Devon Reed, they're going to do the same thing with Adonis Arms. Adonis Arms is going to be the new Devon Reed. Colin Gillespie is the new Monte Morris. Ish Smith is the interim between those becoming those guys. So it's everything that Calvin has done has been interconnected. Everything's been working like a very well-oiled machine. So I will pose this question that I have seen floating around. Does Calvin Booth has he already earned an extension?
Well, before you get to that, I'm just realizing how stupid we are. We were just debating who's going to play the four, and you just said Aaron Gordon. Like, do we just forget that this guy is on the roster? Like, we're over here. Oh, Zeke Naji, Jeff Green. Well, Aaron Gordon is on your roster. Why?
Right.
Why would those go? You know, like
we've said his name like 5 times. Why are we asking?
Bro, party foul completely. So what would you say? Yes. Does Calvin Booth deserve an extension?
An extension already.
I don't see why not. Right now, I mean, we need Calvin Booth. I wouldn't want any other GM who doesn't really know the game plan. Calvin Booth has been here for the last 4 or 5 years with Tim Conley. And, of course, if you're working with someone for that long, you have pretty much a similar mindset. You know, Tim Conley only left because what would you say in a couple episodes before? The Minnesota Timberwolves completely godfathered him. They gave him an offer he couldn't refuse. If they didn't give him that offer, he would still be here. Calvin Booth, though, is pretty much Tim Conley, just a darker version of him, if you will. If you will. You know, I don't.
I will let you say that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
The only
I'm saying you have the ability to say it. I don't. I'm a little, but
you know, it's all right, bro.
Right.
I'm the lone minority here.
For one reason and one reason only. Prove to the fan base that you will pay a front office exec that deserves it.
Yeah.
Like the whole fan base has it in their head. We're all convinced that as soon as our good executives get good and other people notice them, they're going to be gone because somebody else is going to pay them. And so, like, at the very least, just show us you're willing to keep somebody. Just somebody, bro.
Yeah.
Stop letting them walk out the door. But here's something I wanted you to see, because this is what you have to look forward to with your baby girl. They find loopholes. Hey, baby. Mom, let me have my phone to watch. She's been grounded from her phone, but she got her phone to watch us. So they find loopholes, brother.
So much for getting punished.
Right. At least for an hour. She'll be unpunished for an hour. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And we appreciate y'all are killing it in the chat. We appreciate that. We appreciate the likes. We appreciate the viewers. Y'all have been absolutely awesome today. So here's another question from the Peanut Gallery. Do you think the Denver Nuggets will make it to the NBA Finals? We're just going to shoot all the way to the end. So,
man,
do you believe?
I never give up doubt in this team, especially, I mean, last couple years it's been injuries that have been our problem. We've gotten the injury bug. You're not going to convince me that if this team was 100% healthy, they wouldn't have given the Golden State Warriors a run for their money in that first round. You probably don't even play the Warriors in the first round. You're playing one of these lower seed teams. You're probably getting home court advantage. I see the Nuggets even beating probably the Suns a couple years ago, not getting swept. They're at least taking 2 or 3 games. This team is legitimate. Now, let's hope that Jamal comes back where he left off when he got injured. MPJ, you know, we were talking about trading him, but that is just in a different alternate universe. I don't want us to trade MPJ, but since the people asked who would they trade, it would be MPJ. But you bring back a healthy MPJ, a healthy Jamal, with Aaron Gordon, who really, when you traded for Aaron Gordon, he thought he was going to be playing on a healthy Nuggets team. He's been put in the position to be a second option player, which is not why the Nuggets brought him here for. He's going, when these guys come back, he's going to feed off of their game, and we're going to really see the true powers of what Aaron Gordon brings to this team instead of being that second option kind of player. Signing Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and signing Bruce Brown, two defensive-minded players, something the Nuggets haven't had in the last couple of years. You cannot, like I said, you cannot convince me that this team is not a NBA Finals bound team once fully healthy.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And real quick, at Tony Black 99, appreciate the retweet and the love on Twitter, people. And I bring that up because I just wanted to remind you all on Twitter, I am sorry. If you make a comment or anything on Twitter, I don't see it in StreamYard. I'm doing my best to keep Twitter open so I see these things. But if it takes me a minute to get back to y'all or anything of that nature on Twitter, I am sorry. But unfortunately, it's the one place that does not show up in StreamYard. Everywhere else, YouTube, Facebook, you name it, Twitch, they all show up in StreamYard, but not Twitter. So I apologize if I don't get to you immediately, but I will, like I just did. So again, appreciate the retweet and the love. All y'all, write down in the descriptions, hit all of the socials. Got my boy over here, Amado is balling. Make sure you give him some love too. Show us all the love and we will give it back to you in content. Y'all are epic. And we just got another person in here. I appreciate you, whoever you are, because it doesn't tell me who you are unless you leave a comment.
Hey, is that true that the Twitter bird is named Larry? Did you ever hear that
what?
story?
I don't know. I really don't.
Like,
I haven't.
it's paid in homage to Larry Bird.
That's great.
I don't know if that's true story or
That
not.
would be great. We'll have to. I'll have to check that out. But real quick, Summer League is essentially over. So who has stood out for the Nuggets for you so far?
Now this is the one I was waiting for. Now we were critical about this guy. I think everyone was critical because of the body of work he had in UCLA. But Peyton Watson, his first game in the summer league, he was out there scoring buckets. Something that we weren't really having much faith in was his offensive game, and he was out there hitting threes, showing a multi-dimensional offensive game. And this is a guy I'm excited about. He's definitely changed my opinion about him. I think because of his lack of playing time, his only year at UCLA is why we were so harsh on him. But I'm excited for him. We'll stash him in the G League, let him develop. Same with Ishmael. Ishmael, how do you say his last name? You say it better than me. Kamagate. Yeah. I'm excited for him. Stash him in Europe, let him develop. Hopefully we can see him sometime soon. But those two guys, Peyton Watson and Ishmael, those guys were real studs. I know the Nuggets, they played their last summer league game last night, got blown out by the Philadelphia 76ers. But other than that game, they really showed a lot of promise, man. And I'm excited for this team. Colin Gillespie, I know Colin Gillespie had an all right summer league. Christian Brown was kind of disappointing a little bit. I know he went 0 for 8 in his first game. He wasn't able to knock down a 3, but last night was able to knock down 2. So, no one really completely stood out, but I would say Peyton Watson just because of how critical we were and how negative, at least, with all due respect to him, as a fan base, we were. Yeah. And to see him come out and just, change our opinion about what he can do, there was at least some kind of promise.
Right. To mine, it goes both. He has both the best name and the best hustle, and that is Adonis Arms. He is the guy because it's just no matter where he is on the court, he is hustling. Offensively, defensively, I have never seen a kid want it more than Adonis Arms. And I honestly believe he might be able to sneak out that final two-way contract out of the Nuggets roster just simply because of that hustle. Yes, does he hustle himself into some mistakes? But I will take a hustle mistake over a lazy mistake any day. And just the ridiculous size and athleticism. The man can guard all 5 positions in a pinch, 4 of them at least at a higher rate. And then he can be a center in a small ball lineup and not look out of place. Like, the kid is special, and I think that if they do not sign him to a two-way contract, someone will. And I think that's going to be the the switch that's flipped to make them sign him, because if they do not and they let him go out on the market to sign with somebody else on a two-way deal, they will do it just because of the potential. So if the Nuggets don't, someone will, and I do believe the Nuggets will take Adonis and keep him on the roster.
It would be a good move, especially with the direction that this offseason has gone, getting KCP and Bruce Brown, two hustle guys, and Adonis Arms, if, as you say, a hustle guy, if he can show that at the NBA level, maybe give him a preseason tryout, let him play a couple preseason games, I wouldn't see why not giving him that two-way deal. This is the direction the team needs to go. Mike Malone's a defensive-minded coach. Now, he's not really known for playing rookies besides Bones Highland this past season. He as the season went on, Bones earned his minutes. He didn't get those minutes right away.
He had to
earn those. Yeah, you had to earn those.
With Coach Malone, is if you earn it, he'll do it. But as he showed with Bol and all the rest of those kids, is that if you don't show that you want it, then he's not going to give it to you. And I think Adonis is the type of guy that Malone loves.
Yeah, hustle guy completely. I don't know if people don't know this, but Michael Malone's dad was an assistant coach from those bad boy Pistons days. That's why Michael Malone is a defensive guy, because his dad was a bad boy Piston coach. You know what I mean? He grew up seeing his dad coach those teams of Rodman, Rick Mahorn, all these, who were never much talented guys, but what got him to those two championships was being feisty, being aggressive, and nothing but hustle. And that's what I think Malone sees that this Nuggets team is missing and that he needs to implement. And Adonis Arms brings that. Peyton Watson brings that. Now, they're two young guys who need to develop their other aspects of their game, but once they're fully developed, they can be problems for this team.
Yes, most definitely. And we got another question from chat from a new viewer. Marcos, we appreciate you. We hope to see you around more often. Do we bring Kamagate this season on the team? I'll go ahead and I'll take this question. I do not believe so. I love Kamagate. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't see a place for him on this roster with both Jokic and DeAndre Jordan. Plus, his offensive game needs a lot of refinement. I love what he's done on the defensive end. His rim protection is top notch. Definitely. I mean, just that one play against I believe it was the 76ers, where he ended up at one corner wing because the defense didn't switch the way it should have. So he ends up out on the wing, then follows the guy to the other side, comes back into the paint, knocks away a pass, and then turns around and knocks away a shot, all in one sequence. Like, the ability to be that big and have that much both basketball IQ and athletic ability to do all of that is insane at 7 foot. So do I believe Kamagate will become a very big part of this team? Yes, but not this season. He just needs too much on the offensive end. And yes, he's shown out in the summer league, but again, let's remember this is the summer league and he's going up a bunch of other rookies and things of that nature. So just keep that in mind. Kamagate is great. Keep your eye on him because he will come back. He will not spend more than a year in Europe. That's at max. He will spend 1 year, and then we'll see him the year after this one.
Yeah, that's the same take I have. Just stash him in Europe. Let him develop some of his game. His rim protection game almost comes natural. Now it's about, we were saying with Zeke Naji, he needs to be a better interior player. Now, I don't know if Ishmael's a multi-dimensional offensive player. I don't know if he has that potential, or we have to make that a main focus on developing that.
Stroke, but he's going to be much more around the block. Like he's not going to be Jokic out shooting threes. Like he's got a decent mid-range, but anything past that, it's kind of hit or miss.
Definitely, and it's funny because you bring in DeAndre Jordan for a year. We brought him in, I think, a vet minimum, right? It was a veteran minimum. And I don't know what we're doing with DeMarcus Cousins. I would love to see Cousins back. I would love to see Boogie back. But signing DeAndre Jordan.
He'd have to sign for a mid-level exception. That's all they got left.
Yeah, and signing DeAndre Jordan is kind of telling Boogie, and not just Boogie, but everyone outside of the front office, that we've kind of moved on from you, which is kind of bittersweet to me because I love Boogie. Him and Michael Malone, Boogie has came out and even said that Michael Malone is his best coach he's ever played for. You know, he was heartbroken when the Sacramento Kings fired Michael Malone. But, before Malone was with the Nuggets. That's who he was coaching, and Boogie Cousins was heartbroken over it. So it sucks to see Boogie go. But when you sign DeAndre Jordan for a 1 year deal, it's kind of a sign that you have faith that Ishmael will be here playing in the Nuggets uniform for years to come.
Yeah, and again, I think DeMarcus is another one of those trimming the fat on the edges. They were able to get Jordan on a league minimum deal, and
Yeah.
I guarantee you that they probably offered the same thing to Cousins, but Boogie wants more than the
No,
minimum.
he deserves more, man. He
Yeah,
really does. Because here's the sad thing that I believe front offices and GMs and owners take advantage of players who get hurt, and I see it in the NFL all the time too. They think because you have one major injury, they use that against you. And just because might not be your peak performance self as you once was, but you can help a team out. You saw Boogie Cousins almost help the Nuggets put that series to almost 6 games. DeMarcus Cousins does not need to be signed on a veteran minimum. He deserves his bag. Now, is it $30 million a year, $20 million a year kind of bag? No, but it's he deserves way more than getting 5 or 7.
right. Yeah, no, 100%. I would have loved to have seen Boogie come back, but I just think he priced himself out of what the Nuggets have
Yeah.
left. It's just all those big contracts that they've given out, and as much as Kroenke has in money, nobody likes to pay taxes. Like they just
Yeah.
don't. So
Yeah, well,
if
they
there's
kind
any
of.
way for him to avoid paying taxes, whether that be to the government or
Hey,
the NBA, I'm sure he's going to do it.
the irony is it kind of pisses you off that DeMarcus Cousins played so good. Like, man, why couldn't
It
you
kind
just
of does.
why couldn't you just like been a scrub? Why couldn't you just airball some things?
Just for a few more weeks, right?
You didn't have to play that good. Now we got to pay you all this money.
Right,
Uh,
right. And
good
he's
luck to
still
Boogie
sitting
though.
out there though, so you never know. I mean, maybe something maybe nobody else, everybody else sees the same thing as the Nuggets, is that he's just a good backup center at this point, and nobody's going to be willing to give him that starter money that she's probably looking for.
Yeah.
That's what he's used to. So, he might just hang out there long enough for the Nuggets to snatch him up somehow, some way. Maybe they make a big trade like we talked about earlier with MPJ, and they clear up some cap space, and they're able to go out and snatch him up. You never know what's going to happen in these next 5 months. There's a lot of time between now and October 19th.
Oh,
So you never
and
know what could happen.
that's the thing about the summer league is this is the last time we're gonna see basketball
Right.
for the next 2 to 3 months. I mean, you could be a nerd and watch workout videos. I'm not doing that.
Right.
But
Right.
I'm a basketball junkie, but I'm not about to watch these guys work out.
For
I could
3
care
straight
less.
months,
Yeah,
no basketball.
It's funny too. Did you hear the summer league was giving out rings?
What?
They were giving out rings this year. The summer league
You just
championship.
broke me. What?
The
How?
summer, bro. It's funny because when I heard that, I was thinking to myself like, watch Chris Paul be out there trying. My voice just
I
broke.
got a ring.
Oh, my voice just broke. My voice just broke. I stole that. I stole that from a meme I saw on Twitter. It was like Chris Paul after he finds out the summer league is giving out rings, and he's just over there posterizing someone. And I wouldn't doubt it because Chris Paul, CP3 has been trying to get that ring for God knows when, since Hector was a pup, and he deserves it. But at the same time, the Suns, they've gotten lucky these last 2 years, and they completely wet the bed in that series against the Mavericks. It was a do or die game 7, and you lose by 40 points. Like, come on, you guys were never meant to be here. The year before, last season, the reason why they got as far as they were is the Lakers were banged up, the Nuggets were banged up, the Clippers are not even all that, even without Kawhi Leonard. They got it easy. And then once they finally played a Milwaukee Bucks team that was healthy, they got exposed and lost in 6 games. So I don't want to hear none of the nonsense that CP3 should have won a ring. No, it's not his fault, but he should have not won. And I don't like Devin Booker. So, there we go. Let's just get that out there. I don't like Devin Booker. And I don't think the Suns should have been nowhere near where they've been the last 2 years.
I got you. Yeah, I mean, I got my personal feelings about Devin Booker too. I don't like the guy either. I mean, call it bias, call it nuggets. I mean, would I like him if he was on my team? Probably, but he's
Yeah,
not, so I hate him.
yeah,
So
he's
that's
not.
just how it
Yeah,
works. That's
It's-
just how
I
it
don't.
works.
Hey, we don't make the rules to this
We
beef. We don't
exactly
make the rules to it. We just live by it.
we
So,
just live by them. Exactly. So
You
speaking
know
about
what? It's not even beef when it comes to Booker, but it's like we were talking before the show, like Baker Mayfield. A lot of people don't like May, even though he has complete talent on the football field. It's his personality, and I think with Devin Booker, it's his personality that get a lot of people not liking him. Just like with the incident in Toronto this past season, where he was getting mad that the mascot was waving his hands, trying to distract him at the free throw line, when there was no fans in the entire arena. So Devin Booker tells the referee, like, hey, what's up with this mascot trying to distract me? You know damn well if that arena was full, at least a capacity of 20,000 fans would be distracting you. Keep that same energy. Don't be getting mad now. And so it's a lot of babyish kind of, attitude that I don't like. It's a very diva-like attitude that I get
yes,
off of Devin Booker. And
yeah,
I'm not going
like
for it.
that either. Yeah, same here. I'm not for it. I don't like it either. But speaking of point guards and who's the best in the game,
Oh,
it's the
yeah.
off season. We don't have any more basketball to watch. So what's the favorite thing for everybody to do in the off season? Let's make lists. We got lists. We got top fives, point guards going into the 22-23 season. So again, I'm saying this again. Top 5 point guards going into the 22-23 season. Not all time, just this season. So y'all don't go come crazy at us because we talk about somebody now. You're recency bias. Yeah, it's recency bias. We're talking about this season. So simmer down and now listen to our list. I'm sure you'll love them. I'm sure you won't have any issues with these whatsoever. But here we go. I'll start off with my top 5. At number 5, I know he's been hurt. I know people are going to say this is a homer pick, but this is my guy, and he has to be in the top 5. That is Jamal, the Blue Arrow, Murray.
Oh,
Has to
okay.
has to
A
be number
whole
5.
year out, you putting them top five?
I don't care. This is 2022, y'all.
I
This is
love it. Hey,
not
I'm not.
1920. No, I'm just saying, I'm talking to the people that are going to talk to me about the injury. Look,
All right.
people don't go out with injuries anymore. Dak Prescott still got paid even though he put his ankle in 3 different positions it's not supposed to
Oh,
be in. So y'all can miss me with the injury BS. Jamal Murray is still a top 5 point guard. I don't care what you say. Number 4 on my list is the man from downtown Atlanta, Trae Young. I just love the way the kid plays. I do.
mhm.
I mean, y'all can make your arguments against or for, but I just love the way this man plays the game. Ultimate playmaker, the perfect point guard in today's game. Number 3 is my man that's going to be number 1 on this list in just a couple of years. I love this man. He breaks jaws. Ja Morant
Ooh.
deserves to be in the top 5. He's my number 3. Number 2 is the man from across the pond, Luka Doncic. That man he's just special. Again, another one that I love the way he plays the game. He knows how to facilitate and also make shots. He's just, again, another one of those perfect point guards. But the point god of our current generation is the one that belongs at number 1 on every list. We can argue all day about this, but this man belongs number 1 on every single list across the board, and that is that man, Steph Curry. There's just no argument to be
Yeah.
made otherwise.
There's no argument. And you know what's funny about Steph is he a point guard? Is he a shooting guard? It's a combo guard.
Does it
But
matter?
yeah, it doesn't matter. If he's on your team, man, hell, he could play center. I don't care. He's still shooting that rock and ain't no one
Right?
touching him. You know? Uh, that's the only thing I wouldn't say I disagree with it. I think it's just unfair to Jamal. If he heard that, he would probably like, oh damn, you're giving me a lot of love, man, because
Hey, that's my
being
dude, though.
yeah,
That's my dude.
you know
I
what,
can't help
being removed from the game for a year though, he still has a lot to prove. But at the same time, we were talking about Devin Booker a couple of the last segment, how we don't like him. And well, we're gonna put this against Devin Booker. Devin Booker is nowhere near the best scorer out of Kentucky. John Calipari himself even said Jamal Murray is the best scorer I've ever coached. And without a doubt, it even baffles me to hear that Jamal Murray hasn't even made an All-Star game yet. It's just
right.
it's so insane. And it kind of makes me mad because Jamal, at least to me,
Infuriating.
deserves one All-Star appearance.
At
And
least.
it might be because he had that breakout back-to-back 50-point performances when it was during the bubble. But he definitely made the bubble All-Star team if they even had that.
Right.
But
And
at the same,
I got one set of numbers to end the debate. 3-1 twice.
Twice. And it was about to be,
Come
bro.
on.
We was about to beat the Lakers. Anthony Davis even came. No, KCP. Excuse me.
Thank
KCP
you.
said
Yes.
he said the Nuggets were close. The Lakers roster all together. They were talking in the locker room. They were so nervous about that Nuggets team because of how much of on a roll they were. And believe it or not, who was like Jokic wasn't even the best player during that. During that playoff run, talking about the back-to-back MVP was not even the best player on his team when we were doing coming back from 3-1 back-to-back series. Bro, MPJ was showing out.
MPJ was playing better, yeah.
Oh, and I can't wait. And I just can't wait for these guys to be healthy because the reason why
back-to-back MVP was the third best.
The reason why though, man, is there's so much focus that Jokic brings to him because of how dynamic he is. He's a triple threat, dribble, pass, and shoot. And he was bringing so much focus to him that opened up the game for MPJ, that opened up the game for Jamal. And, you can open up the game for other players. It's their job to execute, and they were executing like no other. So it is kind of – I was sad when that playoff run ended against the Lakers because I really felt like the Nugget – it would just been a Cinderella story if they made it all the way to the finals. Knowing it was the bubble, but for them to make it to the finals, it would have just, it would have warmed my heart knowing how down bad they were against the Jazz in the first round. Yes, oh, is it my turn to do my list? My bad. I'm sorry. I'm over here.
No, you're good.
Drifted onto something.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's get your list.
All right. So, I'm not good with list, man. At least ranking them. Can I just throw 5 names out there, no particular order? Is that all right, or do I got to rank them? 5 names
out there, no particular order.
All right. Well, I'll go with my number 1. This is who I know is my number 1 for sure. Everyone else is you could just throw them wherever you want. But my number 1 is Steph Curry. As you just said, man, needs no introduction. Changed the game. He changed the game completely. He's the reason why, teams go on a fast break and they don't even go for a layup no more. They hit the fast break, pull up on 3. Steph Curry, for sure. Combo guard, you want to put him at the 2, you want to put him at the 1, it don't matter. The point guard of this generation, as you said. Now, for everyone else, Luka, I would throw Luka in there for sure. Just to be 6'7", I mean, he's this generation's Magic Johnson or LeBron James, a guy who is just completely oversized but plays like he's a point guard. He loves to find his teammates. He's completely unselfish. And if he has to take the game over, he will. And you better hope he doesn't because it's over for you. Just ask the Phoenix Suns. Now, I want to put Jokic as can we put Jokic as a point guard? Can we put
I wish we could, but I'm saving him for centers because we're going to do all 5 positions.
It's funny. I don't know if you play NBA 2K, my team, but they come out. It's like a Madden Ultimate Team. It's kind of like a fantasy league or whatever. Well, they always come out with Jokic and they always put him as a point guard. He's like a demigod, bro, in the game. They put him at point guard and no one's stopping him. That's why I want to put him at a point guard so bad, bro. Video game stuff, bro. He's a real life video game. All right, so Steph at 1, Luka probably at the 2. I'm putting at 3. I'm probably putting Ja there. Just how small he is, but the things that he does on the basketball court, man. Like he plays bigger than life. He doesn't just break jaws, he breaks ankles. He has like the best dunks that weren't dunks, How many dunks does he miss? Yes. But if that thing went in, that would be a top 10 dunk of all time, bro. He's just ridiculous. And he needs to get his Twitter fingers together because then if he does that, if he gets that little attitude online and social media together, I'll like him even more. That's the only problem I have with Ja is he likes to run his mouth on Twitter. Come on, man. You gotta handle your business a little bit better. I'm gonna go with Trey. Just because I don't know. Shout out to Miles Dunklin from the Colorado Media School, but Miles is from Texas and he watched Trae Young first-handed when he was coming up, like in AAU and all that, like at 10 years old. And he even told me that you could tell when this kid was 10 years old, like you just saw it, like, he he was going to be a hooper. He was going to be a professional baller, bro. You could just see it. The way he flicked, the flick of the wrist, everything, bro. And he's the second coming of Steph Curry. To be that small, the same with John Morant, to be that small and to have that big of an impact on the court.
Bro.
And this is a big man's game. And to affect the game the way they do at that kind of height, there's without a doubt those guys are top 5. Now the last one is, you got to think about that. That is hard. I want to put Jamal there, but at the same time I don't. Oh man, it's gonna make me think. I'm probably gonna put LaMelo there. I'm putting LaMelo there, man. You can say what you want about his dad. You can say what you want about the controversy that the Charlotte Hornets are going through right now and that surrounds them with Miles Bridges and Montrezl Harrell getting caught with 100 pounds of weed or whatever. But LaMelo Ball is legit. He made that team fun to watch this season. That is the highest scoring offense this season just because of, not just because, but a big part of it was because of LaMelo Ball's facilitation. LaMelo Ball is up there, and honestly, I think one day he might even take the reins as the best point guard in the league.
He's my number 6. He's right behind Jamal.
He's your 6? He's right there? Yeah.
He's my 6.
Yeah,
he's right there. I like
the thing I like about
the only ball about I can mess with. Like, he's the only one.
Yeah. I think Lonzo's growing on to me. Lonzo's growing on to me because he has developed his shot. He is a little, I don't think he should have had that much hype. Yeah, he shouldn't have had that much hype when he came into the league.
That was all his daddy.
Which I'm not mad at the dad for hyping this kid up. His dad was trying to get his bag too. His dad was trying to get his bag.
I'm mad at the media entities. I'm mad at the media entities allowing it to happen. Like, I'm not mad at the dad or the kids. I'm mad at the ESPNs and Bleacher Reports of the world that allowed that man the screen time that he got to overhype his kids. Like, he never deserved that.
He never did.
He did nothing.
But he was good for TV.
College player. That's all he ever did.
The reason why they did
Al Bundy. He is Al Bundy of our generation.
The Black Al Bundy. Shout out LeVar Ball. I like LeVar Ball. You know what? Because there's not a lot of dads in the black and brown community that are there for their kids the way he is. Now, did he go over the top with his comments? Yeah. He went over the top with his comments. Yeah, but as I said, instead, he wasn't absent in his kid's life.
Like, I love Morant's dad.
Yeah, it looks like Usher. Have you seen that picture?
I like. Right. Be like, yo, bro, picking these things up. Like, that's the type of dad I like.
No, definitely.
I want to be a celebrity so bad, I'm going to live by my kids. You know what I'm saying? He just sitting on the sidelines, iced up, looking like Usher, while looking like some, I don't know, 80-year-old cancer. It's bad.
Morant, Ja probably bought Ja bought every single piece of gear that man was wearing. You know what I mean? So he ain't hating. Ja Morant bought those courtside tickets. He ain't hating.
Oh yeah.
So we need more dads and fathers like that, for sure.
Oh,
the stream's lagging, bro. I don't know what's going on.
We are having some technical difficulties. Yeah, we lagging like, I don't know, something just went crazy. So we're right at an hour. So it's been going crazy for we're just gonna go ahead and end it right here before we really lose it. So so for the Answer is 42 Media Network and Nug Life Podcast, I am your host, Dan Wetstein. We're sorry, but these technical issues are getting on my nerves. I got to go figure something out. So we're going to get up out of here. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves. We appreciate the new love, the new viewers. All of y'all were absolutely epic today in chat. We appreciate that more than we can express. But as always, for the Answer is 42, don't question the blue.